Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Car Chat. I'm here with my friend Carlos. Hi, Carlos.
Hello, Irving. How's everybody doing? Hopefully, everybody is doing good.
I hope so. Got many comments from our last episode, Carlos, that people were giving us their ideas on cars that they wish that other manufacturers were doing at the moment. And I invite people to go back to the video and post your comments and your ideas and start the conversation. So it was great because I think people were interested to know what were our ideas and a lot of people have, I mean, very, very cool ideas about possible cars. So hopefully today's episode will be interesting too. We're going to talk about cars that we know that are coming into the marketplace, right? Particularly in 2022, some in 2023. But a lot of people are interested in what's going to be new. There's many, and we can obviously do an hour episode on that. But what we're going to do is I'm going to mention my top three or the three that I'm probably interested in, and you, Carlos, your top three.
All
we're
right.
going to cover that.
Okay.
And then, you know, there are many others, and people are free to comment in the comments below and tell us what cars excite you about the coming year.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Carlos, let's start with you. Give us your first one.
All right. The first one, I think, is one of the most anticipated cars we've been all wanting to see back in the marketplace is the Acura Integra.
Oh, yeah.
It's an awesome car. It had great following for so many years. I owned the first generation, if you remember back in the 80s.
Yes, I remember.
Remember that was a three-door hatchback red.
That was a fun car.
That was a fun car. Next to your Miata, we had them both, both reds. That was fun to have back then. And I was always a little hesitant because your car was a little bit faster, and that little bit was enough to annoy me, just so you know that.
And it was a lot sexier, but that's a separate subject.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But let me tell you, that car, the enthusiasts around the Integra are like insane. So I think of all the cars we're going to talk today, probably that's the number one, I think, that people are expecting. Do you know anything about the specs?
I think so. Well, so far, for sure, we know, and this is good stuff, there will be for sure a 6-speed manual transmission available in the lineup. So that's something nicely expected. Most likely, also a different variant might have the 10-speed trans, which is probably shared with the TLX. As far as a powertrain, most likely ends up being either the 2-liter turbo from the Civic, I would say maybe the R-Spec version of it, Type R, which is a little bit hotter engine.
Nice.
And if they do, which I probably have no doubt in my mind, they will do a Type S model of it. I really hope they put their 3-liter V6 turbo on it, which is shared today with the Type S as well of the TLX. Dude. And that would be a sweet combo.
Wow. Now I know what Honda is doing after retiring from Formula One. They're using their research money, you know, for a right cause. I think that's going to be a super exciting car, Carlos.
Exactly. I think, and the design, you've seen a little bit peaks already of some of the picture that they tease the people with, and
we're going to show some of those pictures today here.
We're going to see them right here. It's got that nice swoopy design. So far, for sure, it looks like a 4-door model. It's coming with that fastback look on the back, like they used to have. The question now, it's whether or not we'll see the 2-door. You know, that's a lot of money to spend on an architecture that you bring both 2-door and 4-door on it. But I think at the end of the day, if they do it, the winners are going to be the people that really like that model in the 2-door version of it. Have you seen a little bit of those headlamps in the front with that LED eyebrow, pretty much cue that they use in their signature lighting? So I think the car is going to be a pretty decent looking car, honestly.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think my first one will be an incredible car that was just announced last week, and it's the next version of the Chevrolet Corvette, the Z06, and there's a Z07 model with improved aero and so on. I was in awe, and for anybody that has not gone into the Chevrolet website, there's a 26-minute video, and it's on YouTube. And I might put some of those clips here. It is amazing, and I think it's a testament to, American engineering. Honestly, America is back.
No
Definitely.
doubt. No
You
doubt.
know, we're talking 670 horsepower from a naturally aspirated V8, no turbos, flat plane crank.
Of course.
We're talking the most powerful V8, naturally aspirated V8 in history on that car. The way they managed to get so many puppies out of that engine is, I think, is magical. 2.6 seconds, 0 to 60.
That's fast.
It's a wider car, big, rear wheels, different aero. I mean, it sounds unbelievable. That car will be, eating supercars for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a third of the cost. So
is it going to be a third of the cost
of one of those supercars, right?
Okay.
So
fair.
Think about it. So I think there's a lot of excitement about that. One of my friends, Mike, and I'm gonna put his social media link here. He was the first one to order one in Raleigh. So he's on the list, and hopefully I can cover that at some point when the delivery happens. But I think that's gonna be super exciting, super fast car, America's supercar, and let's wait for the pricing, right? And when is it gonna be available? But I think it's creating a lot of excitement in the marketplace at the moment. Yeah,
I think it looks better, Irving. Honestly, they touch every body panel outside and refined it and made it a little bit wider for the wider stance on the tire, get more grip on those tires. And I saw some of the numbers they're quoting. It's like 1.22 Gs on the skid pad. That's insane.
Insane.
So
it's just insane, right?
It would be a car, or a fun car to watch and own if you have the means. Yeah, absolutely.
What is your second one?
The second one I got in the list is an old fan favorite too as well. It's a Toyota MR2, Mr. 2.
Man.
Oh man, that's another rumor that is coming. Probably 2 to 3 years from now, we expect that bad boy coming. But what's even more exciting, a lot of rumors around the idea that this chassis may be co-developed with either Lotus, wink wink, or even Porsche. So get ahead of that. And we already know that Toyota makes some pretty decent power plants that they can slide into it. But the rumor on this is also that this version coming out may be a hybrid model. A lot of people are suspecting could be maybe a 3-liter V6, maybe natural aspirated, but with electric motors on it as well. So you can have a best of both worlds and maybe plug-in version of it where you can cruise a little bit around town on e-drive, very quiet, and let it open up, and a very nice 3-liter V6. That would be sweet. I wouldn't be surprised they put in a 4-liter 4-cylinder engine as well on it, but I think the 3-liter V6 would be a very nice add on that. And mid-engine with a chassis help designed by either Lotus and Porsche. That would be a car to look for. And
it sounds great either way. I'm wondering where it would sit between the Supra and, they have the 86, the one they work with Subaru.
Yes.
So a third sports car. It's interesting that Toyota is looking that way, which, to our point in our last video, right? The appetite for sports cars is back.
I think it's there. I think it's there. And Toyota is no stranger of collaborating with other manufacturers at all. They have BMW with the Supra. They have the Subaru with the 86. I wouldn't be surprised that the MR2 may have some level of collaboration with the two companies I mentioned, one of the two, as they develop this car moving forward. So, and I know they have hybrids, lots of hybrids. So this could be a hybrid version.
Everyone loves the original MR2. Gonna put a picture here because at the time it came out, it was like a mini Ferrari, right? It looked like
it was beautiful, especially with the T-top. That car looks so good. The T-top.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna find those pictures. Right.
Awesome.
So my second one, Carlos, is BMW is coming out with the i4. So that is going to be their let's say, entry level EV. The
Mm.
important thing here is that it's the 4 Series that we know,
Yeah.
just electrified. And I think that's important because that essentially is not necessarily a different model.
No, it's not.
It's a model already in the lineup
Yep.
that they are converting to EV. They're gonna keep the
Yep.
you know the original one, but then they're gonna have the EV model. It's gonna have 300 miles range, 335 horsepower, right? And there's gonna be an M version of that. They call it
Right.
the M50. It's gonna be all-wheel drive, 536 horsepower, but it goes down in the range to 245
Hmm.
miles, which
Right.
tells you, it's performance versus range, right?
Right. Right.
That's interesting. But again, like I said, the important thing here is probably the first manufacturer that is saying, well, not the first because Ford is converting their F-150, right? But it's an important model for them. It's their moneymaker, right? The 3 Series and the 4 Series.
Yeah.
And they're turning, and they're creating a version that is an EV. I think that's going to be interesting.
I find interesting that they didn't go with a new architecture for the i4, honestly, that they kept it in the old platform. So
Right.
no doubt in my mind, they probably have some compromises, which you probably see in the fact that it only goes to 245 range on the performance version and 300 on the other. So it's probably limited in capacity and size of batteries they can put in based on the fact that it's a carryover platform. Have they
Right.
gone with the iX platform that they use, like the i10? The new platform for EVs, maybe they could have done a little more, but they didn't. So maybe this is just the first step going forward for them and putting it as fast as they can.
It could be. It could be. All right, Carlos. So what is your third car coming up next year or the year after?
This one I'm reserving the right, probably 3 to 4 years, and because there's speculation around it, but I believe it's gonna be the Porsche Cayman and Boxster in EV version.
I heard
EV.
that. I heard it. Yeah.
EV. So imagine that most likely rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive versions coming in it. And something that makes me think they're looking into it is because they got the Taycan, and the Taycan, they're getting a lot of lessons, right, from the car. What are we doing right? What went wrong? What can we do better? It's just an awesome car.
Heavy as hell. It's super
heavy. And I think that's the biggest concern Porsche has. But I believe maybe in this time frame they may get a shot at getting a more energy dense battery pack. Technology is advancing pretty fast, so if they can do that, they can probably put something more compact and leverage and put it on the size of a Cayman Boxster, which then would help them target minimum range 250 miles on it with pretty decent performance at a lower weight. That's a key. That's a key for them to be able to do that. And I think if you remember, the vehicle that was done recently was that Porsche Mission R, which came out, and you saw it in the International Auto Show.
Right.
It looked more like a display of company tech. This is what we can do right now. What's the technology? But that car in itself, if you look at the shape of the car, it was quite interesting. Can they do this? Can they pull it off on the Cayman Boxster before they entertain the idea of doing it on an 911?
Mm-hmm.
Or would they jump from that concept straight to the 911 and just skip the Cayman and Boxster for the time being?
Either way, it's coming. Yeah.
Either way, it's coming, and it's just a matter of time. My number for you, Irving, I think it's going to be 2025 when we see that coming in.
Okay.
So keep an eye on it.
All right. We'll keep an eye on it. It's an excellent platform. I've had both. I had the Boxster and I had the Cayman. So I can tell you that if it has that handling, if they can keep that handling that is they're famous for, and they can keep it lower weight, that's gonna be a killer car. But let's wait and see. My third one is the upcoming Countach, the Lamborghini Countach, that substitutes the original 1980s, and 90s Countach. It's an important car because it's Lamborghini going back to their roots. Some people don't love the design. I'm not completely in love with it yet, right? Yes. But I think the one we saw was an early model. I think they're still working on it. The problem with that car is that it's gonna cost more than $3 million. So it's a non-attainable car. And but the important thing is that it's part of a whole story with Lamborghini, because they're gonna be retiring the Aventador, right? Their big V12, and they're gonna come out next year with the last version of the Aventador, and that one is gonna have 769 horsepower. So it's the farewell letter to the Aventador. And I think they're gonna go with, you know, a classic redoing like the Countach, and then from then on, you know what's coming, right? Full EV. I bet they're gonna start introducing, you know, a substitute to the Huracan. That's probably gonna be the EV car first, and then, you know, the V12 is gonna die, right? So I think it's a farewell song that we all need to sing. V12s are on the way to extinction. The Countach is an interesting car. Again, it's hitting on nostalgia from people like us, right? That remember the original one. And that Aventador will be just insane, right? Like the Huracan STO that they just launched, which is a crazy track version of the Huracan.
Right.
And you can see that is the swan song of these V10s and V12s, right? So I think it's for us to enjoy, because we might have maybe a couple of more years of enjoying those big engines before we go full EV. What do you think?
I think you'll see some of that. Some manufacturers would be probably singing that song a little bit later in the decade. But I think this is the decade where you see the big engines starting to dwindle down, no doubt. By 2030, not too many OEMs will be having big engines in cars and internal combustion, at least as we know it today. Unless, you know, there's some sort of a comeback, breakthrough, other techs back into the internal combustion, greener fuels. People talk about hydrogen.
Right.
Hey, we don't know what the future holds. Stay tuned, because that may be coming.
Stay tuned, Carlos. So stay tuned to Car Chat. Okay. More episodes coming soon. Very interesting topics. People will be super interested. We got some guests that are going to join the chat. For very interesting topics. Go to our online store to get some merch. I'm going to put the link here. Remember to go to the comment section and tell us the cars that you are excited about that we know are coming next year or in 2023. We want to see your comments. And as always, please subscribe. I'm going to put the link here. And stay tuned for our next episode. Carlos, thank you so much, man.
You're welcome, buddy.
All right. Take care. See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.